So 10 Instagram stories, tips and tricks. So if you're looking to build your business on Instagram, maybe you don't have the time to post a beautifully curated picture to your Instagram main feed every single day. That is totally okay. Now, if you're trying to build big on Instagram, that should probably eventually be your goal if Instagram is going to be your main outlet for doing your business. But if it's not, if it's just like, my main is going to be Facebook, or my main is going to be YouTube, or my main is going to be my blog, or whatever we've got going on, and Instagram is going to be secondary, you don't have to post to your main feed on Instagram every single day, but you do need to be posting to Instagram stories if you are using Instagram to build your business. There's a few features about stories that make it so much easier to use than curating a beautiful picture for your Instagram main feed. Number one, it doesn't have to be beautiful in Instagram stories. They disappear within 24 hours. You can do a lot of the same stuff that you do on your main feed inside stories, but it doesn't have to be as pretty. So if you're like, I know for me personally, taking pictures for my main feed of Instagram, it takes some time. You know, you don't just take one picture and post it, okay? Or you shouldn't be. You want to make sure that the main pictures that go on that main feed are your best, your very best content, that you really do work hard to put that content out. So you may have to do a little editing on your photos. I suggest if you're taking pictures, and this is just as a side note, I do this every single time I take pictures for my Instagram account. I don't just take one picture because it's very hard to get a great picture in one shot. I take like tons of pictures and then I have a bunch to select from so I can decide which my best one is to go on my main feed. With Instagram stories, normally it's like a one-shot deal. Like I'm taking one picture, I'm putting it on Instagram stories. Occasionally I might do a little bit of editing, but most of the time I just post it straight to there without much done to it. So it's a lot easier to curate content for Instagram stories. And you're like, Carla, well, why should I be using Instagram stories instead of my main feed? And it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be posting on your main feed. It just doesn't mean that you have to post on your main feed every single day if you're posting on stories every single day. And the reason why stories are super popular on Instagram, in fact, 2 times as many people watch Instagram stories than watch Snapchat. Can you believe that? So pretty cool that Instagram stories allows you to do that. And if you're posting on stories every single day, it's going to help drive people over to follow you on your profile, which is going to get you new followers, which is the first step to getting new customers. Very, very important thing. So let's get into the tips. First tip for Instagram stories is post at regular intervals. So don't post all of the content that you've created for your Instagram stories for the day all at one time. You want to post like maybe once in the morning, once in the afternoon, maybe once in the evening to keep you pushed to the top of your followers' feed. So when you first log on to the Instagram app, whoever has most recently posted to their stories, they show up in the very top in the little circle bubbles. So if you are posting at regular intervals, then you're going to be always at the top showing the people that are following you that you have new content. Also, if you're using hashtags, which we're going to talk about in a minute, you will constantly show up at the top of the hashtags inside stories. So the number 2 tip is to mix up the kind of content that you post inside stories. So do some video, some picture, some polls, some questions, some memes, a little bit, everything goes inside there. You can also, it doesn't always have to be about your business. You can post maybe you've had a really inspirational thought, or you heard a really beautiful message, an inspirational message you want to post there. I do like to try to stay positive always, no matter where your brand is being built. Really, that goes for all of it. But like ranting and raving and all of that kind of stuff, save that for your family and your friends, not your followers, okay? Because there's so much negativity out there right now. The last thing anybody needs is following a brand that is giving them even more negativity. The number 3 tip is to make sure that you keep your stories brief. Listen, if you're going to go on and tell somebody a whole bunch of stuff, don't put it inside the stories, okay? That's not where it's for. Stories are short, quick, little bites of information. They're not meant to be long. If you're going to do something really, really long, do an IGTV on that, okay? Because another kicker with Instagram stories, this is kind of like a bonus tip, is if somebody logs onto your Instagram stories account, and if you don't know, maybe you'll notice now if you haven't noticed before, but there are little dashes at the top. And those dashes are longer or shorter based on how many clips you have posted. So if you're posting like 5 minutes of you talking, that's going to have to be broken up into 5 1-minute segments, and 1-minute segments on Instagram stories turn into 4 little dashes. So you're going to have 20 dashes at the top of your screen. They're not even going to look like dashes anymore. They're going to look like dots. And when somebody sees that many dashes or dots across the top of somebody's story, they tend to exit out of your story and they don't even watch the rest of it because it's too much, and that's not what they're expecting from stories. Stories, again, are supposed to be quick. Long stuff belongs in IGTV. Make a YouTube video, do a Facebook live feed, something like that, but it doesn't belong in stories. So make sure that you're doing in stories what stories was meant to be done for, which is short and quick stuff. So again, if you're like, Carla, I don't have 5 minutes worth of content to like create, then great. Instagram stories, you're going to love them because they're supposed to be short and quick. So it's a great thing for you guys who don't, you don't have enough content to create a 5-minute video, but you do have enough content to create a 1-minute video. Instagram stories is a perfect place for that little 1-minute video. One thing that you should be doing on Instagram stories, this is my number 4 tip, is adding your location to Instagram stories. If you click what I don't know what the proper name for it is, but it looks like a square with a smiley face in it. When you're inside Instagram stories, it's a little square, it has a smiley face in it. If you click on that, you're going to come up with a bunch of new options for things that you can do inside stories. And one of them is add your location. Adding your location is amazing because location markers inside Instagram stories get around 50% more views. 50% more views just for adding your location. Like, please do that on every single Instagram stories post. If you don't do anything else, do that. You're going to get 50% more views on your Instagram stories. And it also includes your location for a chance for being featured on the Instagram locations page. Okay. So super important to add your location. And last week I told you guys about hiding your hashtags. You can also hide your location as well. So it will show up in the Instagram location feed. It will show up when people are searching for stuff near location, but it won't ruin your story with like a big indicator of where your location is. And if you're wondering how to do that, you add your location, you go back in, you add a sticker, you put the sticker over your location. Now the sticker's showing, or you can type out words, like whatever words you want, put those words over the location. Now you can't see where the location is. You can also shrink your location down. So when you first post your location, it's going to be fairly large inside your Instagram stories. If you just take your fingers, you can shrink that down and make it smaller so you can hide it behind words or hide it behind a sticker or something like that. Also, don't sleep on hashtags on your stories. Using hashtags allows you to come up in hashtag searches, and it gets you 2 times more views on your stories by using hashtags. Now, I think you can use up to 10 hashtags on stories. I don't recommend you use 10 hashtags on stories. I recommend you use 3 to 5 hashtags on side stories. Again, shrink them down, hide them with a sticker, hide them with words, use the little when you're typing them out, you can use the little color wheel icon, and you'll see the little dropper, which looks like a dropper like you would take medicine out with, and pick a color on your picture. You can shrink those hashtags down and actually hide them inside the picture. Pretty cool thing that you can do with hashtags. And with hashtags on stories, it's a little bit different than hashtags on your main feed. You can use more of the bigger hashtags on there. So you want to use, I still wouldn't use ones that have like hundreds of millions of people using them, but maybe like millions of people using them would be okay to use inside stories. But you also want to make sure that whatever hashtags you're using, they're relevant to that story. So like, don't use the hashtag makeup if it's a picture of a dog. The same thing. If it's a picture of makeup, don't use the hashtag dog. Okay. So use a hashtag that makes sense for the picture. Now, the number 6 tip is don't post too many words on one video clip, okay? Instead, space them out. Now, what you can actually do is you can actually literally film anything, whatever you want to film. And if you're going to like type out words, like you want to write a really long quote, okay? Film 30 seconds of your floor or whatever. You can cover that with an Instagram color, okay? So now it's not showing what your video was of, it's just showing a solid color. And you can type a few words in, and then because you've got 30 seconds, then you can, on the next clip, you can type a few more words in. Similarly with pictures, if you want to type a quote over a picture and it's a long quote, or you have a new product that you just released and you want to write, it's got 4 big selling points on it, you could take one picture, put that in there with one benefit of your product, then put the picture back in again, add another benefit of your product, and then put the picture back in it again, add the third, put the picture back in again, put the fourth benefit of your product. So it would like layer. So the first story was going to be the first benefit with the picture. The second story is going to have both 2 benefits on there. The third picture is going to have 3, and the fourth picture is going to have 4. So when somebody's viewing it, it's going to look like it's adding to the list, okay, which gives people time to read it, as opposed to putting all 4 benefits on just one picture, which some people don't know this. If you want to stop an Instagram story from advancing, all you got to do is put your finger on it. Just hold your finger on it and it's going to stop advancing, okay? Some people don't know that. They didn't get to read it. They're not going to go back to look at it again, so they might have missed some of your wording. So you can just literally layer it using that way, because not everybody's a speed reader. Number 7, encourage people to turn post notifications on. This way, every time you post, your followers will get notified of it. Number 8, use stickers. There's a ton of stickers inside Instagram stories that you can use. I just used one on my cat mom brand page today, which I'm going to be doing a video about. And this is a side note of something that you can do, is you can ask your following what they want from you, or ask your following a question to get a better idea of what kind of content that they would want to create for you. And there's a sticker that allows you to ask a question, to do a poll. They can type out an answer. They can just answer it yes or no. And one of the things I just did on my cat mom page was I actually just asked people, because I'm going to be doing a video where I'm going to have my cats test catnip, different brands of catnip, to see what my cat's favorite brand of catnip is. And so I put a question up on my Instagram stories that said, what is your cat's favorite brand of catnip? So that my followers can respond, and that gives me some great ideas of what they're using, so I can go and do my YouTube video on it. You can also use a question like, let's say you're in beauty. What is your biggest makeup problem? What is the biggest problem you have when putting on your makeup? Your followers are going to answer that question. When they answer that question, not only does it get sent straight to your inbox, which is really cool because now you have a connection with them, or if somebody stumbles on your story, same thing, now you have a connection with them, but you know what content to create, because they just told you what their biggest problem is. And if you have a product or a service that can fix that problem, even better. But if not, you know what kind of content to provide for them so that you can show up for them in a big way. So using stickers. You can also just use stickers for decoration, which I do that as well. pretty cool. Decorate it, make it a little fancy on inside your Instagram stories. Number 9, you can add music to your clips, which is pretty cool. Instagram has a large category of music that you can add to your clips, and it won't be, they're like popular music, so you don't have to worry about you getting flagged and your stuff getting taken down. The next number 10 tip is encourage people to message you, again by using that sticker or by just typing in the post, message me. Okay, having people direct message you on Instagram stories sends a strong signal to the Instagram algorithm that your engagement rate is increasing, which means they're going to show your content to more people. Now, I've got a couple bonus hacks for you on Instagram stories. Number 1, let's say you created an epic piece of content for Instagram stories. You're like, Carla, this is epic. It was great. They disappear within 24 hours. You don't want this piece of content to disappear within 24 hours. You can create a highlight album inside Instagram. And if you add a Instagram story to an Instagram highlight album, that content will be there until you remove it inside that Instagram highlight album. So let's just say, and you see a lot of brands do this, when you land on their Instagram page, the little circles that go across the top are their highlight albums. Sometimes they will feature other people. Maybe somebody else has used their product and tagged them. They'll feature them on, happy customers. Sometimes it's, if they sell multiple products, they'll have categories broke down like makeup and bath and body and whatever. And they'll put their best stories or stories that perform really well inside the highlight albums so that the content continues to stay there. A really popular one I've also seen people do is like About Me, where it's in a whole entire About Me section. So it stays housed there and people can click through that if they want to learn more about you. Another popular one is questions and answers. So if you get the same question over and over and over and over again and you're putting the answer inside stories, then you can add it to a highlight album that says question and answer. So it gives people quick access to the question and answer parts of your story. So pretty awesome things that you can do with Instagram stories. Now, when you put these tips into practice all together, you will see a jump in the amount of eyeballs that are looking at your Instagram story, amount of people that are connecting with you if you're using those stickers that allow people to ask you questions and stuff like that. So if you're stuck on what to post inside your Instagram stories, you're like, Carla, I know I can do a lot of things, but now I don't know what to post. Okay, I have you covered. If you will head over to my blog, carlalytle.com, make sure you opt in to receive my newsletters because my newsletters go out to you every single week. They give you tips. They give you a training video. It's absolutely free. It's literally free content sent to your inbox every single week. Plus, I let you know before I go live on Facebook so you never miss a live feed. So make sure you opt in there, but you can go over there. You can get all of these notes from this live feed tonight. And there is a link inside the blog article for these stories, tips, and tricks that will take you over to another blog article I wrote about 20 Instagram story ideas. So you get a ton of ideas on what you can put inside your Instagram stories. Pretty cool, huh?